the President of ICS, the graduates, colleagues, my family, brothers and sisters. It is an honor for me to stand here today. I really thank God who made it to happen. And I just want to thank Henny Slopsema, who you just heard the name. She made me to come here to ICS. Actually, she invested in me, not knowing that she was investing in the continent of Africa. This gift that you're giving me today, I'm receiving it on behalf of all Africans who are working for Christian education. And I'm dedicating it to them as their gift. And thank you for thinking of Africa. And thank you for recognizing what the Lord is doing in Africa. I'm very humbled by the fearsome responsibility of being nominated as the representative of my continent. I chose the verse that you just heard as the verse, the exclamation that was made by Peter when he said, when his eyes were open. And this verse, or this incident, took place in Caesarea. Caesarea is the place where the transfiguration took place as well. It is the place where Jesus said to Peter, you, Peter, when he was in chapter 16 of Matthew, when he was saying, on this rock, I'll build my church. So 3 incidents happened at this place. But the most interesting thing that happened at this place was this time that happened 10 years after the Jesus statement. It happened 10 years later, where Peter stood between the Jews and the Gentiles. He was at the gateway. It was Kairos moment. It was the moment of truth where Peter was saying, now I see God is not a favor of man. What was interesting is that this truth that happened at that moment, where the Jews and the Gentiles were to be made together, one would thought it will continue throughout the history of the church. But unfortunately, the church didn't get it. If you give 2 examples of what happened in Africa, where this incident of separating the Gentile or others, happened in Rwanda. When you heard about the genocide, it was the church that was involved. It was the church that prepared that genocide. They forgot the love of God. In South Africa, apartheid, if you don't know, apartheid started in the church. It was in 1889, Dutch Reformed Church Synod. 1829, sorry, Dutch Reformed Synod, where they had a problem. The problem was brought by Somerset Church. And they were saying, we, the born again, and the born again, they were referring to the white skin. Are we allowed to eat Holy Communion with the heathens? And the heathens were referring to the black skins. And the issue was started at Holy Communion. And the 1857 church took a decision that yes, they can have their own separate church where they can enjoy. And apartheid started. When in 1948 apartheid started, it was already blessed by the church. And the church continued to have that type of theology. And then the very interesting thing that happened after 1994, when South Africa took the bull by the horns through Nelson Mandela and others, the church followed. And the four churches that were divided, the black, the white, the colored, and the Indians, they formed a union. And at that union, they developed a Belha Convocation. I just want to read a few statements from that confession, where they said, never will it happen again. That unity is therefore both a gift and obligation for the Church of Jesus Christ, that through the working of God's Spirit, it is binding force, yet simultaneously a reality which must be earnestly pushed, pursued, and sought, one which people of God must continually be built up to attain it. That was the end of apartheid, but it was ended also with the church. And I was very happy to read this, but I was very impressed by what happened in DRC, where 65 denominations, it is the only country in the world, 65 denominations form a unity under one name, the Church of Christ in Congo. And under that union, they have 18,000 schools. They have 161 teachers, 1,000 teachers, and 4.7 million students. And it is the only country that I know in Africa where Muslim has just 1%. And then they invited us to make sure that their 18,000 schools must be, must be true Christian schools. And when we told them that it's a big task, and but when you eat the lion, you're the elephant, it's one bite at a time. And the bishop said, unfortunately, Samson, we don't have deep freezers in Congo. We will have to eat the elephant first. And that's why I'm inviting lots of people, even from the West, to come and help us to eat the elephant in Congo. It's not only Congo. There are many other parts of the Christian schools are mushrooming all over Africa. And there's a new dawn in Africa, a new dawn of Christianity. And that new dawn, there are challenges that are facing it, because it's coming up with also some cults. I would call them cults, especially the North American cults of churches that are more the prosperous. They are preaching prosperous gospel in Africa. I see them as cults, and they need to be challenged so that we can deepen the roots of the gospel through Christian education. And these challenges that we are facing, there are a number of challenges. We have our own challenges as well. The animism, the dualism, those are big challenges that are within, where the gospel sometimes it's not accepted as supposed to be. And then we need in Africa a new brand of Christianity. This has been mentioned by people like by people like Junkin. He said we must have a new brand of Christianity, an African brand, the brand that will be shared with other nations. And to develop that brand, it will need lots of studies. I'm happy that there are new writings that are coming also from Africa. Benny van der Waard, who is part of our product, he has written a lot. And then in that trend of developing a new African brand. And then we, not only Benny van der Waard, and then there are others like Turaki, others like the African, from the African soil, they're starting to realize that we need to change Africa. And that's why I'm so thankful for this thing that you are recognizing. It shouldn't be just a recognition. It should be, you should be starting to think about partnering with us. You produce me. I'm your product. And as your product, we need more products of ICS. We need more products that will join us. I'm aging. We need young ones who will shape and change Africa so that it move away from being a dark continent to a continent of light. Thank you for what you are doing. You did this for me, for Africa, and I hope my colleague, you are going to shine wherever the Lord is going to place you. Most of ICS graduates are shining all over the world, and the Lord will bless you, and you will shine as well, and you will be the lights, the prophets, the priests of the next generation. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm really blessed, and thank you for Africa.